Comrades, welcome back to Realpolitiks. I am Admiral Andre, and it has been quite a long time since the last episode. The reason for that has been just the fact that I've been so busy here for the last week or so with several deadlines actually coming together at one time, and it was quite a challenge. Some nights I was up all night trying to finish some work, so I was very much missing this game, and transport fever as well, but now at last I can come back to them. It's Friday, so I'm just going to make the time for them. So I've seen that there are some new updates for this game. They've actually been out quite a while now, I think last weekend, and that takes it to, if I'm not mistaken, 1.3.7. This is still 1.3.3, so just bear that in mind as we continue. Once this game is complete, then of course I will apply all the new updates and we will be able to experience them with a new country. Possibly Somalia or Taiwan, or perhaps another one will present itself. Not sure about that yet, but we still have quite a way to go with South Africa. So let's just do a very quick update just for myself so I can just get my bearings again. We still have our high warmonger level from the war with Mozambique that was absolutely fruitless and didn't actually lead us anywhere. Then the economy modernization 2 and infrastructure 2 projects are still busy, and it will take about another year or so to complete. Then also we have some elections coming up this year, which should be quite exciting. So yes, we'll see how that goes. We are very much trending towards, look at that thing jumping there, trending towards more and more of a totalitarian government, which is unfortunate because I don't think I'd like to do that. I'd like to at most stay authoritarian. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Let me just take care of South Korea. This is very, very vital for us in terms of getting money, so I have to stay on top of the stock exchange. Let's see, what else? Personal control is not very extreme yet, but there we go, it's jumped again. I guess it doesn't update every month or so, but so it's moderate. Let's keep it at that level. Solomon Islands joined Japan. I think this is the second time they've done that. And then militarism is very high, it's almost maxed out. I'm fine with that. It allows us to have more military. And let's see, population growth. And yes, pretty much everything is fine here. Let's look under the economy. Philippines declared bankruptcy. Well, that's unfortunate for them. Let's see, taxes are still quite high, and it seems like the minimum level has risen. I think that has to do with interventionism. Let's see, what else? GDP growth is quite steady, even though the world economy is not looking so good. Medium economic development level, that's fine, but let's get this to a high level. And our unemployment is still at 0 and declining, which actually means we don't have enough people in the country to actually do all of the jobs. So let's see, what else is happening in the world? Maybe there's something interesting. Let's see, Europe seems very quiet. Ah yes, India is still fighting its rebels, but it's decisively in the favor of India by now. Panama is bankrupt. I believe that's also happened before. And yes, there was still the issue of us creating a bloc for the first time. But I believe Czechia left the bloc of Japan. Well, that was a strange relationship anyway. And yes, so despite trying to improve relations with Australia, they're just not willing to join our bloc. You see, it's 0% chance. So I guess they consider themselves more higher up in the world ranking than we are. So that does make sense. Let's just stop there. I need to just take care of another stock market, Australia there. So then, yes, I think the issue with the whole bloc creation is that if we just look back at the UN Security Council, Australia is a member of this council and we are not, and that might be a little strange if we get them in our bloc, but they are actually the ones on the Security Council. So then it's almost like we are pulling the strings. So I'm sure that's why they don't allow us to actually get Australia into our bloc. It's absolutely zero chance. So yes, I see Austria has joined Germany. So let's continue. With New Zealand, we might have a chance. You see 3%. It's not very high, but it is a chance. So let's try and improve relations and just see if we can make it work. Probably not if it's only 3%. For the greater good, a dangerous oppositionist is getting the upper hand in the upcoming elections. Should we get rid of him to protect our interests? And let's say no, leave him alone. Interventionism and personal control will go down, so that's fine. Let's just not go down that road. Anything else? Pakistan is still bankrupt, so I see in a week nothing has changed. Mercury, yes, let's have a look at Venus. There we go. In terms of the minerals, 54. Oh, failure, so New Zealand doesn't like us. Well, that's just too bad. And we are now officially, I believe, in 3rd place. So, barely ahead of Japan. That is quite a worrying thing. But not too far behind Germany. So I think we do have the potential to supplant them, at least. The US is another matter, but we can at least get 2nd place. So Venus is giving us quite a bit of minerals. It's just still a mystery how we actually get those minerals. It's more than Europa, which makes sense because it's a planet. Confederation of Estonia has left the bloc of the United States. Well, okay, I guess they're going their own way now. And I'll just again say accept the changes. If we need to really change something, we can do it next time. Middle East crisis, Saudi Arabia. For quite some time now, Saudi Arabia and Turkey have shared a strong economic rivalry. And recently their mutual animosity has been getting stronger. That's not the best thing you want to hear about the Middle East. So yes, Saudi Arabia and Turkey are not having the best relationship. Israel, it looks like Israel wants money again. We're having problems with our GDP growth. Our economy could use a little kick. Are you willing to help us? And of course we lose the Human Development Index for 2 years. I don't know if that is worth it. And all that we're really getting is 5 relations. I don't think so. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe if there was a bigger incentive, like we could build better trade routes or something, then there would be a better reason to do that. But it's basically a totally one-sided thing. We're not really getting anything out of the deal. So, yes, I don't know about this whole block thing with New Zealand. Maybe we should just stick to Africa. But of course now, was it Nigeria last time who created their own block? Yes, it was. So they are out of the picture, and Egypt as well. So that's not the best thing. In whose block is Somalia? I think, oh yes, Indonesia, that's right. Cambodia is also bankrupt. Kyrgyzstan is bankrupt, so not doing too well there. I don't know, I'm still very much reluctant to get other southern African countries into our bloc, because eventually I'd like to just take them over. And there's no other, if it's not Nigeria or Egypt, I don't really see a reason to get anyone else in Africa. Just for interest's sake, what is Ethiopia's status militarily? 14, 6 and 4, that's not terrible. Actually, they might be a worthy option. Let's see, economy modernization is done. Let's just wait 4 days for infrastructure too. So, is it at all possible for us to get Ethiopia? Maybe. Let's have a look. 34%. Okay, so we can see it's very much more likely. But the problem is we need 91 military units. or at least military units at the level 91, because it's not a one-for-one relationship. So 56 doesn't mean we actually have 56 units. But yes, that's quite a way away from our capacity, only 74, so we're not in a position to do this at all. What about Sudan? I don't know, I'm not too much a fan of them at this point because they did take over South Sudan here. No, I don't think so. 7, 3 and 3 is not worth it. Algeria perhaps? 8, 8 and 11. Well, let's see, do they like us at all? Probably not. No, not really. That is a pity. Would they agree? 0. They are absolutely not interested. Oh well. Let's just get on to some other projects, perhaps more economy things. So what are our options here? Let's see. Transport hubs. Oof, 19,000. Actually, we're not too far off, but that will mean getting more debt. But the GDP will grow, so I'll do it. I know it's a short-term sacrifice to take on that extra debt, but by getting the economy growing now, we'll reap the benefit of that in the future. The next one, I like the super rails theory. Develop plans for the layout and construction of a railroad network. Now, of course, we do have railways here in South Africa, but they are not in the best condition, and they're certainly not on the level of what I would call super rails. So I think let's do this. I love trains, that's why I do the transport fever game as well. And yes, it's more debt, but again, this is for the longer term picture. We have to see the long view of history again. Azerbaijan is looking for some help after the war with Russia, I guess. We're rebuilding our country. It will cost us money. Now see, with this, I'm more willing to do this actually than to give up my HDI, for example, with Israel. Because we also get an improvement in our relations also for 600 days, but it only costs us money, and money we can get again next turn or next month. Okay, Azerbaijan, I'll help you because you're sort of a barrier with Russia, even though you lost completely. At least it distracts them. So at least we still have the largest stock exchange, but actually not by a huge margin. Denmark, Switzerland, Belgium, they're right behind us, strangely enough. Just clear that. And let's see. Well, it's going to be a while before we can pay this debt off. 25,000, yes, that is a lot. Maybe it's too much, but we still make 700 and something per month, so a lot more than when we started. Let's speed things up a little. The stock exchange in Colombia was closed due to some spy activity. No concern of ours. Strange, you know, you get used to the map looking a certain way, and then if you see this, where the US has this northern Mexico territory, it kind of still looks very strange, but there we go. War between South Korea and North Korea. Okay, so it happened in 2063, more than 100 years after the first Korean War. So, in whose block is what country? Let's find out. South Korea's in the block of South Korea. That's interesting. Is there anyone else in their block? That's what I want to know. Probably doesn't. Well, it must be. If there's a block of South Korea, that means there must be at least one more country in that block. Ah, Laos. Okay, at least we know one of them. So Laos is also in the block. And North Korea, of course, is on its own. So how is this going to go? I wonder. I'm very sure North Korea is going to use some of their nuclear weapons. But yes, I think on the long term, South Korea will definitely have them. But again, it's not a total guarantee. We'll see. But the US is not getting involved in this one. So, yes, I guess in the next, 40 years, things have changed in the Korean peninsula? Well, I'd at least hope so. West Yugoslavia joined the bloc of Germany, Italy left the bloc of the United States, and Uzbekistan is bankrupt, China has degraded. What was that? South Korea has its own stock market now. That's a pity. So it's a loss for us now. Sweden left the bloc of the US. It looks like everyone is getting off the ship again. South Korea, well, remove them for now. Let's do some sabotage and then blame the North Koreans. Slander the stock exchange. Do it. We're getting money quite quickly, actually. Let's pay off some of this debt. Let's hope we can get South Korea back. If not, who else is available? Let's find out. Well, I can't see yet, but there must be some other candidates if they are not able to join us. Colombia maybe, but I don't know if they're actually big enough to be worthy, because we're looking at the biggest countries for the stock exchange. Netherlands joined the US, and yes, so there was a bit of a reshuffle there. Very interested in this war. Let's see, North Korea is trying to infiltrate South Korea, but the South is also trying to infiltrate the North. Now North Korea is just trying to do some ambush. Well, this is going to definitely lead to a lot of casualties. Youth Paramilitary Organization. In the spirit of a healthy and strong society, perhaps we should start a paramilitary organization for our youth. Let's do it. It's not the most cheerful thing, but let's do it. You know, for our future conquests. Then we can stand that down. So yes, North Korea I think is losing already. Yep, -8, but it's not really enough to be definitive yet. This might be the end of the Kim Jong-un family, or the Kim family, I guess. Spy action has a success. They were forced to close. Well, what do you know? Those North Koreans can be quite evil, you know? So we don't know anything about that. Anything else? I definitely don't want to make any further moves militarily until we get rid of our high warmonger level. And who got it this time? Can only be South Korea. North Korea is bankrupt. Well, not the best thing if you're trying to fight a war. Indonesia has opened a stock exchange. Well, I think they're also in our block, are they not? No, I expelled them earlier. So that's fine. What happened? Yep, North Korea nuked the South Korean HQ, but they failed. So I guess they never could figure out that ballistic missile technology. Or they used an airplane and it was shot down on the way there. India is still fighting those rebels. It's taking quite a long time. Speaking of nukes, how far do we have to go to get our own? Well, 7,000 is not too bad, so I think once we're done with one of these new projects, we'll take that on. I think it's time for us to become a nuclear power. Don't see any other warmonger countries appearing here, so whoever started this fight on the Korean peninsula is not actually counted as a warmonger, which is interesting. And even now with North Korea throwing nukes at the south, they also don't appear as a warmonger. I don't understand that mechanic. Maybe that has been changed in the new updates. But we got this excessive war score for attacking Mashriq, but meanwhile they're killing each other and throwing nukes and no one is getting a penalty. Definitely not the most pleasant place to be right now. So, just hypothetically, if we were to attack somebody else, who would it be? Probably Mozambique. I think we're sort of working our way north from the south, so the next one would definitely be Mozambique. It's like pieces of a puzzle. So, what do they have? Just again for the sake of interest, you know, asking for a friend. 7, 2 and 1. Okay, they're a pushover. Again with a 1 aircraft, so I think it's a good thing. Let's avoid the mistakes of Mashriq. We are more than a match for them. So yes, let's speed it up a little bit. North Korea, for all your loud talk, you have not been able to put up much of a fight. Quite embarrassing, actually. Add a new one. Oh, okay, let's just stop and have a look. So I see Japan is available, but of course they're not our friend. Who's available beyond that? Let's just compare before we... okay, I see Ireland wants something there. Okay, well, I guess it's going to remain South Korea. That's fine. Welcome back. It's a pity those North Koreans sabotaged your stock market, but hey, we're always friends, so just come back. So yes, who was it again now that asked for something? Ireland. I've never seen that before. Protectionism acceptance. We want to introduce higher tariffs on imported goods from your country to help domestic producers. Hope you don't mind. So if I say we understand, all of our stock market members will have 20% less income coming to us. Absolutely not. This does not work for me. I don't see how you have power over the US and South Korea and all the others. And Pakistan is finally asking for money. Interesting, it's only taken them a few years. We're having problems with our GDP growth, you don't say. Our economy could use a little kick. Are you willing to help us? You know, I am sort of tempted just because their bankruptcy message keeps coming up. So I'm going to give them a bit of help. I know it costs us the HDI, but this is sort of an extreme exception. Tajikistan is also bankrupt. Netherlands left the US. That didn't take long. Almost time for the nukes, come on. And okay, we can clearly see here the next prize will only be in 2 years, but we're still third place, so it's fine. And those things are done, so the GDP should now grow a bit more nicely. Atom bomb, you know, I heard this is the fashion lately, so let's do that. After that, let's see what else. Battlefield support, maybe. Score is always a good thing. Rapid response, I just want to have a look around. Cyber warfare. Attack on another country's computer network designed to cause damage and disruption, and it means that we have more attack modifier for the Air Force and for the Navy. But I don't know if that's the most urgent thing. Let's have a look at other things as well. Super materials, maybe? It just gives us a bit of score, not the worst thing, but let's look at economy. Sector regulations. Requirements, restrictions and guidelines that aim to maintain the integrity of the employment system. Okay, do that. You know, we have to balance our military projects with our civilian ones. I just think it's the right thing to do. North Korea is getting its backside whipped here, which is indeed very embarrassing. Nothing else? Ah well, let's begin planning expanding our country a little bit. Mozambique, you know what, let's have a look at you. It's funny because they're so willing to join our bloc, but they're going to join in another way. Let's see, what else? Gain a core, I don't think I have to do that actually. I just have to declare war, and that means I just have to lower our relations. So let's do it. We got rid of the warmonger score there, so it's time to add it up again. We are not done on that front. Greece is bankrupt, so yes, that's not good. And Mozambique hates us. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because you are going to join us very soon. Assign everything, we don't do it by half measures, and the first thing is secure the front. 75 warmonger score, but that's okay. It's not as bad as with Mashriq, which is interesting because you would imagine it would be the same. Frontal advance. They're just trying to set up their ambush, but it's pretty much worthless. And capture the roads. Before they can set up their ambush. There we go. Quick, quick, quick. Take the airfields. Now they're ambushing us. Oh well. They gave up. Let's see. Air supremacy, they have 0 aircraft left, so that won't be a challenge. Technically, we are already superior. Capture the key cities. Nepal left the block of Japan. This is taking a bit longer because obviously it's a much more complicated maneuver. But it's almost over. This is the kind of war that I like fighting, because again, you must follow Sun Tzu's advice, and he who knows when to fight and when not to fight will win. So this is one of those cases where at least we know us and our enemy, so we can win. The day the sun stood still. The war's bloodiest battle has just been decided. The fighting was intense, lasting from dawn to dusk. For many soldiers, it seemed like the sunset would never come. And hail to the heroes, definitely. Magnificent veterans who have fought all our brave wars and survived, at least most of them, I guess. Bhutan joined Japan, so it's just the one for the other. All over, just one more final offensive. And I can just close that. It will happen now on its own. Our generals will take care of it. North Korea is almost completely defeated. Interesting, with all those nuclear weapons, it didn't really help them at all. And it's all over. So let's discuss peace now and formally end it. So propose peace with the acquired province, please. This is not so good for the war score again, but there we go. 136, and it's all over. So let's just clear all these messages. Just make sure the stock exchange is taken care of. Alright, that's better. So now we start all over with the war score level again there, but it's okay. At least now we're looking much nicer. So from coast to coast we now control this portion of southern Africa. And what about our population? It probably didn't go up too much. 17, I think it was 11 or something, so at least some more people there and some lovely beaches. You know, Mozambique has some of the world's best beaches, so that's a nice thing, a nice warm waters. And so if we have another target, it will probably be Madagascar, but again that will take some time to set up, just because if we push this warmonger thing too far, it's going to backfire. So I'll rather play it a bit more cautiously. Unflattering TV program. There was a TV show last night on a foreign channel that showed us as incompetent buffoons, and there is my alarm saying the time is already over. Incompetent buffoons, to quote the report. Some people are quite angry that we're just letting others laugh at us like that. Oh yes, that won't stand. Why are we incompetent buffoons when we just conquered another country and you are a small island in the Mediterranean? Of course, no hate towards Malta in real life, but in the game at least we're playing it a bit with a role play. Demand apologies. Do it. You must apologize. So, I guess that's it. No apology coming from them, so maybe in the next episode. Let me just stop it here and say it was definitely fun to just get back into the game again. And from here we can continue. So, let's make a goal, because I think we have to set up an end goal for us, because this is one of those kinds of games that can keep going forever, and we just have to be very cautious with that. Because I would also like to get to these new patches. I think it's called separatism or something, which makes it a bit more difficult for larger countries because there'll be more rebellions and things like that. But I don't think we really fall in that category yet. But anyway, so I think our goal should be, let's see, is it unrealistic to say we should be in the UN Security Council? Probably. Let's see, let's just have a look. Where are we right now? It goes by GDP, so oh dear, yes, that's not so good. We're only 26 still. And we have to be at what level? Let's see, is that 12? Yes, so no, that's going to take an incredibly long time. But we can say that provisionally that is a goal. Perhaps not the end one. I don't know if we'll make it that far. But it seems like a logical thing to at least try for. Getting to number 1 and the score is going to be nearly impossible because the US has such a large lead over us. It's literally double of our own score. So I don't think that will be very achievable in a reasonable time. In terms of conquest, I would think at least we have to get up to the DRC. So probably take Madagascar, but again, each time it adds this warmonger thing, but okay, that's a possibility. Then definitely Angola with all its oil, Zambia and Malawi. After that, we take the DRC and probably end there, but we can also take Tanzania. They have some nice, the savannas and all that. That would be nice for us to have. But I don't think we'll push it beyond that. Burundi and Rwanda, I'm not going to take over. I'll leave them as they are. And then, of course, we're not going towards North Africa. So, yes, those are just some broad things, but it will still take a long time to reach that, which is fine by me. So, hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day.